Howdy everybody, how y'all doing? Well, welcome to today's dose of Penguin Pause-itivity. That's right. I know I've said a lot on this channel that taking a step back and pausing and just to gather some perspective, and sometimes you just need to take a step away or go out into the open plains of something outside of these four walls and away from these screens, just to breathe the fresh air. And sometimes if you're in the city, you gotta go further, right? And all that stuff. But sometimes we don't necessarily have the ability to do that in a situation, right? Sometimes we don't always need that drastic of a shift or a change to help us balance out or try to figure out how to reset to move forward, right? And that's why I've been pondering a lot about intermissions and movements lately. And because the thing is, right? Well, an intermission can be something pretty simple. Like, I know we're all used to intermissions and, the idea of them. I don't know how many of us go to live action plays anymore, right? Or I know there were some movies in the theater in the last so many years that if they were longer than 3 hours, they gave an intermission so people could stretch their legs. And, it's just basically that point in a place where you can't just pause the remote and get up a snack or, do all this, that there's a certain current momentum that others are involved with that you just can't leave or, exit the building and whatnot, because there's an experience that you want to be part of or you need to be part of and finish out, right? So sometimes you just need some sort of intermission, because that brings up the next point of movements, right? So in a stage play, you have different acts, right? And I know we even talk about in movies, there's the first act, the second act, the third act, certain sort of shifts in momentum, which I would call movements, right? In a sort of a tone of a pacing, of a direction. And I know I'm using a little bit, I'm mincing up the musical words, like for a symphonic sort of thing, different movements to express different emotions and sort of the ups and downs of, whether it be the creation of the planets or something a little bit closer that we can, connect to, right? But you get what I mean, the ups and downs of the moods. But this comes back to, the practical application, right? Because like I said, there are times when we're in situations where, the movement has crescendoed to a certain emotional level, right? And we need to figure out where the next movement is going and how to get there. And sometimes it's easy as a little shift in tone and pacing in conversation. And sometimes we just need an intermission to pause, to step away, to reflect on what happened, so that our next movement, like when going back to a stage play, usually there's a little bit of time that has passed in the actual storyline, so that we're building on that foundation, right? So a pause to build on that foundation, right? And the biggest thing is when it comes to our interpersonal relationships, whether it's home, online, parasocial, or say work or something, a lot of times if we can pause and we can reset and we can remember that, hey, we value this, whether this person or their job qualification, the job position that they hold, even if we're frustrated with them at the moment, right? We want to find a way to find a resolution and not just disappear and walk away. Because the ramifications of just, cold turkey cutting, running on things, it catches up in the end. So, what I'm proposing to you is the positive notion that sometimes when it feels like everything's about to burst or boil over, sometimes you just need a little bit of an intermission so that you can breathe and realize that there's something more than winning, and there's something more than the emotional argument of what's going on, or whatever feels like the hurdle that you can't get over. And it also gives a chance for the other person to take a step back and also reevaluate the situation that may have gotten out of hand and say, you know what, I still value lots that this person has to offer, and let's take a step back and work together on finding a more amicable solution. Because I think a lot of ways we want the movement and the final crescendo to be something pleasant, something appealing, something that, well, we all can enjoy and find something soothing or exciting in that, in the tonal qualities thereof, right? Because let's face it, not just penguins are social creatures, but all of us are kind of made that way, and whether we're grumpy or stubborn or good at it, we're all still fighting to connect. So that's my penguin positivity for you today, because I think that we all are actually trying to find better solutions, and sometimes when we feel like our back is against the wall, then maybe a little bit of a intermission for momentum and a movement change might all we need, right? So let me know what you think, and while you ponder that, we'll take an intermission, and see you next time. Bye!